I just got back from my European sourcing trip and I realized I have so many things to share with you today. So today's video is a reselling vlog. In case you're new here, hi, I'm Andi. I'm a vintage home decor reseller. And when I said I have a bunch of stuff to share with you, I actually made an agenda of what we're gonna cover in today's video. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is what sold in my Etsy shop while I was away. And then I have a booth dilemma in one of my vintage booths that I need help with. So I have some footage I'm gonna show you, and then I'm hoping you can help me brainstorm some ideas. Then I'm gonna give you a little trip update, because like I said, I just got back from Europe and I wanna kind of set your expectations on when you're gonna see those videos. Then I pulled a few items from my sourcing trip that I wanna show you that were special, because I didn't wanna make you guys wait all the way until all those videos drop to see what I got on my trip. And so I wanted to share a few things with you today. And lastly, I'm planning a holiday drop. I don't know when I want to drop it on Etsy. I'm one of those people that it's always too soon for holiday decor. Like when stuff drops in the summer for fall, I'm like, ugh, it's just too early for Halloween. But I know a lot of people are thinking about their Christmas decorations already, so I'm worried I might actually be too late. So anyways, we're gonna talk about that drop too. Okay, so because we have a lot to cover today, let's kick things off with what sold in my Etsy shop. So before I show you the footage, I just wanna mention that I never put my Etsy shop on vacation mode, and that's because it will totally kill the momentum of your shop. I did this years ago, and it took ages for my stuff to show up in search results once I turned it back on. It was just a disaster. And so that's one thing new people always ask, like, Andi, when you go on vacation, do you put your shop on vacation mode? And I say never put your shop on vacation mode. Even if you're gone for a long period of time. When I was gone for a month last year, I still have my shop live. What I usually do is just go on the back end in the dashboard, just extend out the processing shipping time, and then just put a note that says, when I get back on my trip, these things will be shipped on this date. And that's what I did this time, because if I would have put my shop on vacation mode while I was away in Europe, I would have missed out on 14 sales. And that's a lot of sales to have missed out on. And so that's why I don't do it. So I would always recommend to you guys, don't put your shop on vacation mode unless you're like going on a sabbatical where you're like taking time off from it completely for months and you have no intention of shipping anything out, then put it on vacation mode. But if you're just going on a trip that's like a month or shorter, just keep your shop live and just do like I said, just extend the processing time and just give people a note, and that way you're not missing out on sales, and that way your shop is still kind of relevant in search results and you don't have to crawl your way back to being an active shop. Okay, so now let's get to the footage of what sold in my Etsy shop. Okay, so here is what sold while I was away. So this very cool black and white lidded pot sold for $48. This kitty cat hook, which I've sold a few times, sold for $48. This adorable little ceramic owl sold for $38. This cloisonne lidded ginger jar sold for $68. This Navajo pot that I've had for ages finally sold for $38. This adorable sniffer that looks like a flower sold for $34. This set of cranes that I got sold for $68. So cranes, still a bestseller. These also are slightly different tones. So if you can find them, even if they're mismatched, you can sell them as a pair and they always sell. They're still very popular. So those sold for $68. And this mushroom plate sold for $48. I actually sourced that in France last year and it finally sold. It's one of my very favorite things. I kind of hoped it would never sell, frankly, because I love it so much. So yeah, that sold for $48. This adorable lidded Polish box sold for $28. And this India box right here that I actually got on a sourcing trip with my reselling friends, that sold for $38. And the funny thing is, it's actually going to Mexico and the shipping on it was crazy. So someone is paying a lot of money for this box to ship it to them. And then I also have 2 sets of candles that sold. So the shiny set, and then there's a little bit more of a patinaed set. Those sold for $98 each. That's what I sell my sets of 7 for. And then I also have, I'll put on the screen, a Tonala bird, a bust, and a black and white brass vase, a black and brass vase that sold as well. So I'll put those on the screen. So yeah, this is all the stuff that sold while I was away on vacation. Okay, so the next thing I need your help on is my booth space. So I have 2 vintage booths. One is in a shop called Tiny Brambles in downtown Portland, and I've had my own dedicated space there since I think April. One thing I have noticed in my booth, now that it's been a few months, is that I have some very underperforming sections. I'm talking like totally dead areas of my booth, and I don't even know what to do with them. Even when I rotate stuff out, nothing sells. So I have some footage I want to show you that I took when I was there recently, and I'm going to talk about and show you each of the spaces that are just wildly underperforming for me. And I want to get your thoughts on how I can make them better. So let's go to that footage. Welcome to my booth right now. So I need to plan a complete overhaul because it's been a few months and there's certain areas that just nothing ever sells when they're there. Like this whole area, nothing moves. No matter what I rotate through, it's kind of a dead zone. And then the lower shelves, dead zones. And then up here, this area does perform, although I've had these vignettes for a while and I need to make some time to come in and redo them. And then this area usually does well for me, but it's been pretty stagnant lately. So I gotta re-switch this up. I gotta switch up this area. Don't sell a lot from here. And this whole entire bookshelf is basically like some sort of cursed bookshelf because I don't know if I've ever sold anything off of it. This sells because of the mugs, but anything lower, I mean, generally this isn't here. I'm bringing that home because it's sold. But the lower shelves get no action, no matter what I rotate in. And then this section does usually well. Stuff sells from here, but the lower shelves, nothing. And then same with over here. So I need to, this whole table does well. Like stuff will come and go, especially this, of course, zone right here is always doing really well. So this again here, nothing. So there's just a lot of dead area that I need to kind of figure out what to do with because I don't like to have all this real estate and stuff not move and only have like certain things sell in certain spots and that's it. So I got to kind of reimagine the booth. So that is something I'm going to start doing, start sourcing more permanent fixtures for over here. So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys how it turns out and then also track and see how it does. So as you can see from that footage, I have a lot of real estate in my vintage booth that is wildly underperforming, and that is a problem to me. I want everywhere in my booth to hopefully sell merchandise. Maybe that's like not realistic, but if you have a vintage booth or if you don't, you have some ideas after seeing my space, you know, please put them down in the comments, send me an email, DM me on Instagram, show me what you're doing in your booth. I definitely need some help on how I should merchandise my space out. It's just really annoying to me that I have full sections that are doing nothing. So I need a lot of ideas. And I also need like ideas on what should I do in the spaces that are really low? Like what do you guys do if you have a vintage booth where you have all these low spaces that people aren't really looking for? Because as someone who is a vintage reseller who sources from antique malls, when I go into a booth space, I am combing under and over and around. I am looking at every single item in the booth, and I know that's not how the average person is shopping. And so because I am in a reselling mindset when I shop versus like a general shopper, I think I have a harder time figuring out how to merchandise the space. Because like, of course someone's gonna see that down there because I would look there, but I'm not everybody. So anyways, I really could use your help. So please, all the comments in the world, no comment is too long. I need your help on how I can remedy my vintage booth, so especially heading into the holiday season when things are gonna get really busy. Okay, so we're almost to the haul portion of this video, which I know is your guys' favorite. But before we talk about a few of the items that I picked out from my trip, I wanna talk to you a little bit about my trip. So I took a lot of footage when I went to Belgium. So I went to Europe with the intention of sourcing the flea markets, and it was phenomenal. I brought back 2 full suitcases with vintage. I have so much art, it's insane, which is my very favorite thing to source, as you guys know. I have a lot of brass, I have a lot of religious items, which you guys know I love religious artifacts. It's just also one of my favorite things. So I was in heaven while I was there. So I went to Bruges and Brussels, and then I also had like a quick stop in Amsterdam. So the footage that you're gonna see in the future, so I still have to download and edit and crunch all of the footage that I took, which was staggering. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen a little bit of my trip. So I tried to make sure I stayed up on it to take you guys along with me, but I have so many things to show you. So those videos are coming. They might take me a little bit of time because I have to also figure out what am I selling, my vintage booths, It's the thing. It's a whole thing. So anyways, I do have a few things I want to show you from my trip that I'm really excited about that are for me. So sorry, I'm going to start with the things that are for me because most of the stuff that I got is actually for you guys, which I'm sure is going to surprise a lot of you. So anyways, let's kick off the haul. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with these adorable brass spiders. Now, I got these actually in Amsterdam. So I flew into Amsterdam and then I took the train to Brussels and Bruges. And so as soon as I touched down in Amsterdam, I went to a market immediately, of course, because, you know, I'm a pro. So I was just like, jet lag, what? We're going to a market. And I got these right away. So they were 10 euros each. I got the guy down to 18. He was definitely one of those vendors that they're not really interested in selling things. They just like to set their stuff out to be admired. I ran into a lot of those vendors on this trip, but there's a lot of brass in Amsterdam and there's a lot of brass in Belgium. So I did bring home a fair amount, not as much as I would have liked because of the weight. Obviously brass is very heavy. These spiders, so excited about them, especially since they were on my wish list. I did not know I had to go to Europe to get them, so I'm sorry these not to be available for you guys because I've wanted them for ages, but yeah. This was a great kickoff to my trip. And speaking of brass, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this beautiful girl. I got this huge brass naked lady bust. And when I saw this, I nearly shouted out loud, but I had to play it cool because I wanted to be able to negotiate it cheaper. So this was, I think, priced at like 75 and I got it for 60, which I thought was great. She's super, super heavy and unfortunately took up probably 5 or more pounds of my luggage allowance, which I was like, oh, that's the thing is like, she's so amazing. I couldn't leave her behind. Funny story, Laura Caldwell, who I know you guys all watch, she, I guess, showed this in her footage from last year when she went to the Brussels, or not the Brussels, Bruges flea market, and she almost got it. And then that morning that we were all shopping, because she went there with a group trip, she almost bought this again and decided not to. And then, you know, a few minutes later, I show up to that booth and actually grab it. So it was meant to come to Oregon, apparently, because she almost got it, but I guess it was meant for me. So thank you, Laura, for passing on this twice so I could have it. So again, I'm sorry. She probably won't be for sale. I haven't decided if I want to sell her because she's so good. So good. But I don't have a spot in my home that makes sense for her. So that's the other problem. So I don't know. I may have to keep her until I decide what to do. But oh, she is so good. She is so solid. And like, I could not believe that I was able to get this. So very excited about this find. So I went on my trip hoping to find certain things. Obviously old oil paintings. Wanted to find those. Anything brass, needlepoint, anything religious, you know, stuff that I don't find in abundance here, but when you go to Europe, it's just everywhere. And the other thing is Staffordshire style dogs. Now, this is a new collection for me. I have always adored these dogs and I've never come across them until this year. I now have 2 that I just sourced. If you guys have watched my haul videos for the last like several weeks to months, you know I have picked up 2 and this is the 3rd one. So I could not believe I got it because these are definitely more prevalent in the UK. So the fact that it was at the Bruges market, I was like, huh, yes. So I was so excited to find this. It was 15 euros in the end because I talked them down by €5, but I was really excited. This came home with me in my actual hand luggage, bubble wrapped, because I was afraid that if I packed it, it would break. This is the most breakable thing that I got. I try to make sure that I was sourcing stuff that was really sturdy, that I didn't have to worry about too much. And so this is the one piece that was extremely fragile that I brought home. So anyways, this is for me. It's so cute. But yeah, I was really excited to find something on my bucket list. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will remember this marble foot. I was so excited when I found it. I mean, it is wildly quirky. It's a very quirky foot. There's actually 2 of them, and I didn't buy the other one, and I was so sad because I thought after I got this gal and a few other heavy things that I was like, there's no way I'm not at my limit. And I actually wasn't at my limit. So I'm like a little destroyed over some of the stuff that I thought was too heavy to bring that I probably could have brought back. And another foot was one of the things that I'm really sad I did not bring back. Now, before you guys come at me and are like, you separated a pair of feet. I did not separate a pair of feet. They were both going in the same direction. They were both left feet. So they were technically not a pair with a left and a right foot. It's just both lefts. So guys can sleep more soundly knowing I did not separate a pair of feet. But I don't know, this foot was just too funny, and so that's why I had to get it. Okay, so that's just a little teaser of the stuff that I got on my trip. I have so much stuff to show you. It's staggering. It's overwhelming, frankly. But I did want to show you something a reselling friend picked up for me. So she found this and she offered it to me. She's like, do you want this? I know you collect them. And I'm like, yes, I do. I mean, look at that face. And look at the baubles on top. These baubles destroy me. They are so cute. And I love her painted details. Another great thing is on the bottom, whoever owned her actually put information about where she was from, and then it's dated 1970. So I love when people do this to stuff that they own, that they actually put like where they got it and they put a date on it. It just makes sourcing these pieces and putting them in your own personal collection that much more special when you have that little bit of history. So this will be for me. Again, sorry, another thing that won't be available for you guys, but you guys know I collect Kakashi dolls, and this one is just so adorable. She's gonna look so cute. So anyways, thank you so much for offering this to me. I will pop my friend's information on the screen. You should definitely check out her Instagram. We source similar stuff. She's so great. She's an Etsy shop. So yeah, definitely follow her content. Okay, so we're almost through this entire agenda. So last thing I wanted to get your thoughts on was my upcoming holiday drop. So I've been sourcing holiday decor, you know, over the past few months. I'm always looking for it, and then I just put it aside for closer to the holidays. And this year, I feel like I have enough stuff where I could do like a proper drop, where I actually could do some promotion around it and get everyone excited about all the things that I've been sourcing, and then drop it all on Etsy for you guys to buy. And so I need to get your thoughts on when you want to shop for Christmas stuff. I feel like it's still too early, but I also know people are thinking about their holiday decor way before someone like me. Like, I have to be in the month that it's going to happen to think about that holiday, and I know that's not everybody. And a lot of people want to start thinking about Christmas like probably now. So let me know in the comments below if you're like ready to see the Christmas stuff or not, or if you think I should at least get through Halloween before I drop the stuff. So really need your thoughts on timing. Okay, so I know I'm asking a lot of you in this video because I've asked you to comment on my booth. I need you to comment on my holiday drop. So yeah, just please give me all the advice and thoughts you can. Just type your little hearts out below because I really could use your opinions. Okay, and that's all I have to share with you today. So I can't believe I actually got through this video. I am so jet lagged, it's insane. I feel like I can barely even make words. You guys have not seen this, but I have started and stopped this video probably a half a dozen times. What was supposed to be like a 20-minute like video recording session, probably, I think I've been up here for like an hour and a half. So, yikes, I am rusty after my trip. But I have a lot of really great content coming your way. I'm gonna get back to my Goodwill shopping videos as well. I haven't been in a Goodwill in like 2.5 weeks. Which is insane, which is crazy. This is, yeah, I'm itching to get back out there and thrift for you guys. So yeah, a lot of great things coming your way. If you're looking for more thrifting and decorating content between my haul videos here on YouTube, make sure you check me out on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks so much for watching and for all your comments in advance, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Take care.